play this game. We can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other. Jim's an onion. You got to peel back the layers to get to the good part.
So you can tell Rutledge that. That is absolutely ridiculous.
Amen.
Because I'm here for whatever.
It's kind of a roller coaster. Sports is a roller coaster.
Matt, let me ask you a question. Matt, let me ask you a question.
If you get food poisoning from a place, do you go back?
Like for more food?
No, if you go back ever. Like you get a bad burger from a place.
And give him a second chance? No.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
There we are. My mic was all the way up, but there we go. All righty, so we are live from Ruth's Steakhouse
Yes, we're back.
in Middleton, and you can get into the show 844-770-3776. We have Riley Yauk. You heard his voice just pop in there a second. He's back at the Everlight Solar Studio. We are presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush. A Coors Light.
I think so. New pieces of equipment, I think, is what we got here. One of those things where I thought the button was turned all the way up because it wouldn't go anymore, but I think it's so new that it didn't want to move. You know what I mean? You get something new, because I thought, it was all the way up there. But
we don't get new toys very often.
No, we don't, but we're happy to have them, and we're thrilled to be out at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We'll be here for the next 2 hours. Molly Brown, of course, we decided to come after she had the babies, so she could not join us. So Molly Brown and family are doing well. If you missed it yesterday, she gave birth to her twins, one boy, one girl. We will find out their names tomorrow when Molly Brown joins the show. Matt Hamilton is probably oblivious to that. Hopefully Riley's feelings aren't hurt because we're talking down the line to Riley, and I asked if we had a show sheet, and Riley's like, absolutely. And then Matt's just on his phone, and he says, where's Ryan? Well, Ryan texted this morning. Now, he has been texting, because he's a dedicated worker from home, but he texted, I'm sick. Riley's going to produce the show, and we all have known that for pushing 8-9 hours now, except Matt Hamilton found out 8 to 9 seconds before the show.
Yeah, well, I should have known something was up because normally Ryan would have that show sheet emailed or text, and probably texted to me at this point, so I had multiple avenues to access it.
Yeah, so absolutely.
Well, sorry, Matt.
It's okay, Riley. You'll get there. We had to break Prime, too.
But I just love that who's going to break Matt Hamilton? At some point, you'll stop being oblivious?
Never.
Well, fantastic. You get into the show. Lots going on, but the curse of Matt Hamilton continues.
Oh, gosh.
Tretch Kekahuna, which, I'll be honest, a small part of me is like, I'm fine he's leaving because his name's kind of a chore to say. So
That was the best part.
He was too good not to avoid his name. But Tretch Kekahuna is transferring out of the University of Wisconsin. Big day for the Badgers. We heard Riley's Sports Center. They have a top 25 class coming in. But, Matt, you need to stop liking people because it now joins who is on this list of the Matt Hamilton curse. Obviously, now we have Tretch.
It starts with Amari Rogers.
Yes, Amari Rogers. Since Matt Hamilton has been a part of ESPN Madison on a regular basis, whether it was Jump Around or Rutledge and Hamilton and now Jim, Matt, and Molly, Matt has a innate ability to ruin someone's career.
Yes.
So Amari Rogers, I remember that one. We made a bet.
I liked Dillon, A.J. Dillon.
I would like to point out, though, that the bet you made for what Amari Rogers was going to do in a season, I don't think he's reached those numbers yet for his career.
Yeah, including XFL or whatever he's in right now.
Yes. So then, A.J. Dillon was the next one.
A.J. Dillon.
Yep.
Now, this guy still is on the Packers, but he definitely hasn't lived up to the hype. Rashawn Gary.
Yes. That's more of like a missed expectations thing,
Yeah. Tretch now.
Yep. Don't forget Anders Carlson.
And Anders Carlson, yep.
Yeah.
So I have got a not-so-great streak of picking my new favorite players.
And, even on the fringe, you were a big Pat Connaughton guy, and he stinks now.
Yeah.
His second he signed his contract, he fell off a cliff. But when he signed that contract, you were kind of all in on him. But Get into the show, 844-770-3776. You can talk about Badger football. Badger basketball had a exciting but disappointing loss last night. They almost had a Ben Brust moment where Tanjay threw a three-quarters shot to try to tie the game, and I wouldn't say it rattled in and out, but it was close. It was close. They could have tied it and taken it to overtime, much like what Benny Brust did.
It never should have even got there.
Yeah.
They got the lead. Like, first of all, they had a good first half. Nice lead. And then squandered. And then near the end of the game, they got it back. I think they had a 3-point lead, like 65-62, and then was only able to score 2 points in the next 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, well, I mean, couple things here. That's classic Badgers.
Yeah.
They still struggle with – they are a team that when the shots fall from the outside, they're really good. It's because they don't have a lot of players. Hopefully this year's different, but Big Ten play, consistent players. They can put the ball on the floor and score when you need the basket. That's usually been the Badgers' Achilles heel, and I think it showed up a little bit last night. But also, Michigan's got two super tall guys, Vlad Golden from FAU being one of them. And look, I think Michigan is a sneaky team that could really make some noise, at least in the Big Ten, maybe overall. Because Dusty May, I know him from FAU, took the Owls, a school with an operating budget probably the cost of one player at FAU, and so he's got a lot more ability to kind of dominate now.
So I misspoke. They had 64 points to 61 with about 2.5 minutes left, and they proceeded to not make another basket the rest of the game.
I'm going to put that mostly on Max Klesmet. Did you watch the game, Matt?
No, I didn't. I do not have Peacock, so
a little bit
I
of hero
was
ball.
on my.
Yeah.
I was definitely trying to just update my phone, and I definitely saw a lot of plays like Klesmet missed rebound by Michigan.
Yeah, I was at the game last night, and outside of the heave from Tanjay, and then when I believe it was either Janicki or someone who got fouled, it was like the 6th foul or something, then they did an inbounds play, and it was another foul, set up the bonus, whatever. Outside of those last two like pseudo possessions, I think Max Klesmet took 3 shots in a row without letting anyone else touch the ball. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Well, he went 3 for 14.
Yeah,
and then 1
that
for
sums
9
it up.
from 3-point land. So.
It reminds me of kind of vintage Brad Davison.
Yeah.
You take a lot of shots. Take a lot of shots.
Honestly,
Chucky
I'd
Hepburn
Davison
as well.
At this point.
No.
Yeah.
He never played on winning teams. He was not a winning basketball player. He
Well,
was a hero ball player.
His team was all right when he had Davis.
Davis was the star. Was he
Oh,
on the
totally.
team,
Yeah, they were on the team at the same time.
Yeah, he was on that last, the COVID-shortened year, I believe, where they got hot right before everything was shut down.
But Johnny Davis, like Johnny Davis as we know him, the star, that was one season. That was not a COVID season. So
Was
they
that
were
the
not
season after?
Yes, that was the season after, yeah. 'Cause I
And-
remember
and Brad wasn't
Johnny
on that
Davis
team?
and Chucky Hepburn making big shots against Iowa. The Kohl Center was full, so that was not a COVID season. Like that was a jam-packed Kohl Center when they were able to lock down. Here's the thing: Badger basketball right now is
Well, the year they shut down, where Davison was the star of the team, they won the NCAA championship in the
BPI.
in the simulation. They won the
simulation.
simulation because they knew how dangerous Brad Davison was.
So here's the thing: we all know what the Badgers would have done with their history with Greg Gard in the tournament. Says they lose in the first round, or at least the first weekend. But here's the thing, and I'll give Scalzo credit for this. Greg Gard is on he's in his eras, and this is his bounce back era. Because what happens is he gets so close to he's about fired, and then they'll go win the Big Ten, and then it'll be kind of a slow downward trend, and then it'll come right back again.
He's a cat. He's got 9 lives.
Yes.
And he's used up 3 of them.
It's just this cycle of hey, we're up at the top again. We're going to build. No, we're not going to build. We're going to crash right back down. We just had this weird magical season where we're going to be at the top of the Big Ten, and then we'll be kind of middle of the road Big Ten, and then we'll be like, oh my God, this could be his last year, and then it'll swing back up. But at the same time, that's better than Badger football right now because they are just down.
I could use a swing back up for Badger football.
We're still awaiting the news of who the offensive coordinator will be for Badger football. That news has not come out yet, but we'll keep an eye on that. And then obviously Badger recruiting going on today. And we heard Riley Yauk say in the Sports Center that the Badgers have the 25th ranked recruiting class in the country. So that's big. That's important. That helps Hopefully that translates to them being the
So,
25th best team in football in a couple
of
years.
These guys who are coming in, does that mean they're going to stay here for more than a season? 'Cause that's the part that, like, I think the Badger fans, but two, just the athletic department needs to figure out first and foremost is how do you navigate it? If you can count on losing 2 to 5 good players that were committed to your team every season, that means you got to replace them, and maybe more, 2 to 10.
They've
right?
lost 6 out of their 13 recruits from 2023.
Right.
Oh,
so
they only have 6 left, of their 13 recruits.
So, like, that's what I'm
2023.
saying is, like, you're going to have to navigate that because there will be guys who are super talented, fit on this team nicely, but want to be showcased more, and that's just not the role they're going to have here. And they're going to go, and you're going to lose a very talented player. How do you recap, like, how do you backfill that position in the portal? And that's the part that I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's someone listening who knows a lot more about this than I do that could maybe call in and give me a little insight into NIL, but it's still new. I know NIL's been a thing for like 2 years now, but all of these college organizations are navigating how to deal with it. And when you have a down year like this, who's chomping at the bit to come play at Wisconsin?
Well, that's where the money comes in. 844-770-3776. That's why everyone's freaking out a little bit. But money,
Fair.
The nice thing here is Indiana was trash until they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't winning, but they spent $11 million on assistant coaches, and they spent money on players, and they got the right schedule break, but then they're winning. That's the nice thing now in this kind of a meritocracy college football world. If you can get the dollars, you can change it quickly. Because for everyone going out, it's worse. Like, I believe Oklahoma just lost their starting quarterback. Like, these schools are going to lose players. It is part of doing business. Only having 6 players left from out of 13 for your 2023 class, not great. But we'll see how this class shakes in. But Brandon in Tulsa chimes in, the Hamilton kiss of death. It's the most consistent feature on the show. Then we had TJ from the road. Jim, I'll be out of range shortly. Just wanted to say fire Luke Fickell, pay the $40 million buyout. It's saving compared to the revenue loss the next 10 years, which is how long it would take to recover from Luke. Again, I'll go back to my point I just made a minute ago. It will not take that long to recover. That's the positive for NIL and the transfer portal. You can recover, and again, just look at Indiana or some of these other schools, you can recover in a year. And Badger football can turn it around in a year. I understand not having faith in Luke Fickell, but really that's all you can do at this point is have faith in Luke Fickell. Here's what I know. I know it's kind of factual because I can't prove it, but here's what I feel very comfortable saying. This team is worse with Paul Chryst and probably at best the same with Jim Leonhard. This isn't they maybe look less inept, but couple things here. Jim Leonhard is a NFL guy. Jim Leonhard didn't want to be out recruiting and doing the song and dance to get all these players. That's when he was a defensive coordinator here. As the head coach, you'd have to do it more. That was never in his DNA. Like, that was the rap on him is what a great coach he is, and rightfully so. He wants to go home and be with his family. He's of a different era. I'm not saying the offense wouldn't have worked. I'm not saying they couldn't have recruited, but I'm not to think that this program. Let's just assume. I want to look at it like this. Jim Leonhard's here. Best case scenario, they win 1 to 2 more games each year. So that matters, but this is not a program that's winning 10. This roster's not winning 10 games, whoever's coaching it. Now, did Luke Fickell take a team that if you had a different style of offense, you're less dependent on the quarterback, and you could have won 8 games the last 2 years, and then he won 7 and 5? Yeah, that's a fair knock. But if Jim Leonhard was here, let's not forget he beat Nebraska by 1 to keep that bowl streak alive.
Right.
And so, it's not like they were dominating. I believe he was 1 game above 500, and I know he could have turned things around, but those guys were just looking backwards does not
just
fix a
because
program.
it's a feel-good story doesn't mean it's going to work.
Right. And honestly, I go back to this. The guy they would have, I'm not saying they missed on, but the other guy, like if you were doing this imaginary world, is Lance Leipold at Kansas. Now, this year they didn't make it bowl, but he finished his year winning 3 out of his last 4 games. They had a lot of injuries. He beat 3 straight ranked teams, including Colorado. And so he finished strong, and there was a lot to deal with at Kansas, but he built that program up. He built up, obviously, he continued legacy at Whitewater, won titles there, built up Buffalo when he was there, and has built Kansas. And he's got ties to Wisconsin. he's the guy. And he obviously is running a Power 5 program, and so he's the one you could have looked at and said, hey, he's got Wisconsin ties. He knows what he's doing. But none of that matters because Luke
Kansas?
Maybe someday, but Luke Fickell, we can say it doesn't matter, but the $40 million matters. I would say you have 2 more years with Fickell.
I also have an issue like Fickell he's got to bring his guys in as well. And sure, you can hit the transfer portal, but a lot of the guys that you bring in, you need to wait until they grow into men. You know what I mean? Like 18-year-olds and 21-year-olds are not built the same. And when these, I feel like you almost have to give a college coach 3 to 4 years so he can turn over the players that were already here and then show you his vision with the players that he was hoping to recruit and bring up through the system, right? And I just still feel like it's preemptive. As disappointing as this season is, and as much as I would love to be Luke Fickell's head on a platter, get him out of here, that's just, it doesn't seem realistic to me given this situation in college football. You've got to bring these players up. They're going to get bigger and stronger as they get older, and these players that might have committed to Cincinnati and then came to Wisconsin with Luke Fickell that might still be there, they're going to be juniors next year when they can actually be real impact, difference makers. So I think you got to give him 3 to 4 years to see what he's got. If we see another year or two of this floundering middle of the pack, bottom of the pack in the Big Ten, see you later. Thanks for trying. But until then, in Fick, I trust.
And let's give him a year of a healthy quarterback. And I'm not giving a pass. I'm just saying let's not storm the McLean Center.
TVD was going to be the guy.
Again, TVD, I'm sorry, they're bowl eligible if he plays the year. At a bare minimum, they're bowl eligible, and they win one of those games against Nebraska and Minnesota, and you feel better about this team. If TVD plays the whole year, and is it crazy to say he doesn't throw the ball all over the field against Oregon, and maybe they, complete a few more passes besides one blind luck throw?
Maybe just something in the late fourth quarter, just one completed pass would have been nice. That was, to your team and not the opponent.
Yeah, so I do think that there are mitigating factors. This team would not be what we think, but I've said this before. The new expectation, I think, for Badger football is 8 wins with a once in a while, let's try to make a playoff push. We'll talk about that more. Also, shout out to Sarah Franklin. I believe she's won Big Ten Player of the Year now 2 years in a row.
Wow.
And so, obviously, she's a star for Badger Volleyball. Badger Volleyball, their first match is Thursday night, and then they're likely going to win. That's on ESPN Madison. So then,
who do they play?
Who cares? And then Friday, but they're a 2 seed. And this is what John Audius told me from the broadcast. In volleyball, it's chalk. Even Wisconsin as a 2 seed has a very hard chance to get there. It's usually the Final Four is almost always 4-1 seeds. A 2 seed getting to the Final Four is remarkable. We'll hope for the Badgers can surprise some people, but I would imagine the Badgers at least get to face Nebraska. So we'll likely have Badger. We definitely have Badger Volleyball Thursday. We'll likely have it Friday during our normal show time, so we'll likely be on midday on Friday as well. But we are your home for Badger Volleyball. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Madison Weight Loss is having a huge holiday sale, almost 20% off, making it our lowest prices of the year. You can start the program before, during, or after the holidays. We know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no prepackaged meals, no injections or surgery. The secret is our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good. To learn how our clients on average lowered their metabolic age by 17 years, go to MadisonWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation and learn why your metabolism may be sabotaging your weight loss goals. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com and save big now only through December 31st.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. The program with Madison Weight Loss was perfect for me to lose 40 pounds. Trust me, Madison Weight Loss is the real deal. And take advantage of the huge holiday sale with the lowest prices of the year now through December 31st. You can start the program now or after the holidays, but you need to call now to lock in the huge discount. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation. That's MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
This season, Chevy brings classic pairings, cookies and milk, mistletoe and kisses, and your holiday plans and a new Chevy. Silverado 1500 gives you power and capability with 430 pound-feet of torque to haul your holiday tree. Equinox EV and the all-new Equinox offer award-winning quality and style to see you through the holiday season. See why Chevy makes everything better and brighter. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text MAIN to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text MAIN to 321-321. That's MAIN to 321-321.
From your best friend who lives on caffeine to your teenager who always forgets to fill up their tank, Quick Trip gift cards are the ultimate holiday hack for everyone on your list. Pick one up in-store or online, and they'll have everything they need. Coffee, snacks, groceries, fuel, and more, all with one thoughtful gift. And honestly, who has time for complicated gift shopping? We know you don't. Give the gift that keeps life moving. Holiday gift cards from Quick Trip.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
This is Devin Robinson from Badger Volleyball, here with Madison's best roofing, siding, and window company, Ridgetop Exteriors. I protect the net at the field house, and they protect your home. They're trusted, local, and affordable. Go to ridgetopexteriors.com today. That's ridgetopexteriors.com.
Tune into Jim, Matt, and Molly every Friday for Fish Friday. Brought to you by Off-Broadway Draft House, Madison's favorite spot for a Friday fish fry.
You got a reaction. You got a reaction, didn't you? You took a one orchid. You took a one orchid and turned it blue. Something better than nothing. Something better than nothing.
Matt Hamilton continuing to be oblivious. Like, Matt is tough to rein in when we're in the Everlight Solar Studio. Tougher to rein in when we're at Ruth Chris Steakhouse in Middleton.
Especially here in the coach's room. There's so much stuff to look at.
There is. Were you able to find Lee? Is he going to?
No,
okay.
I have not been able to find him
We
yet,
might
but
make a little bit of a addendum to the Minute to Win It and see if Lee can be a part of it.
Right,
So
because, I mean, oftentimes Molly's here to help, right?
Yeah. Yes, he can get
help
someone else
or hurt.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where Lee's chops are going to be at in whatever category that we come up with, or Ryan or Riley has come up with. But I'm nervous, and
Okay.
I want someone to blame
Yeah.
if we lose again, because you guys have been killing me for like weeks now.
That's fair. Get into the show, 844-770-3776. We've been talking about Badger football. The news of the day for them would be they have a top 25 recruiting class. It was early signing day today. There's an opportunity for them to continue to grow that recruiting class. And then also we are keeping an eye out for the release of the name of the new offensive coordinator. The job officially closed yesterday. All that means is the state of Wisconsin, the Badgers have to officially post a state job for a week and then hire. So they have someone in mind. They have, I'm sure, someone hired, and now it's just a matter of when are we going to find out? And is someone going to report that, or is that going to come from the university? There's likely someone who's coaching, so maybe they're trying to wait out a championship game. They're not going to be able to wait out a bowl. But if there's something that is, let's say someone plays on Friday and you want to get a few more games, or Saturday, you might be able to hide it for a few more days. But we'll keep an eye on that. He's Matt Hamilton. I'm Jim Rutledge. Riley Yauk back at the Everlight Solar Studio. We are presented by Coors Light. Our guy Primetime Wollersheim sick. So he will be back tomorrow. Molly Brown's
Allegedly.
going to join the show tomorrow. Do you think he's got the South Beach flu? Too many Coors Lights?
Yeah, I think that would be the case. I think he's upset about the Badgers' loss and had a couple too many Coors to forget about the situation.
I don't hate that that outlook on it. I do want to talk about the Packers and the Lions because that'll be a big game. Obviously, we're on tomorrow 12-2, and we'll talk more about it. But nobody's playing in this game. So the Lions are missing Taylor Decker. He's out. Then they're missing Josh Paschal, DJ Reader. And then the Packers are also missing Jair Alexander, Romeo Dobbs, Edwin Cooper, and Corey Ballantyne. So both these teams are dinged. So I would
Do
say
we have any corners left at that point?
not anyone of yeah, you got Stokes.
All right, I'm stoked.
So the Packers and the Lions, there's going to be no real advantage there, I think, for the injury side of things. Both those.
Good.
teams are
I was just waiting for if the Packers win, it's because Paschal wasn't playing or whatever. I was waiting for the hedge.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, at this point in the year,
everybody's dinged up.
It's different.
It's really if it's a quarterback or your all-star wide receiver or pass catcher,
or the 49ers missing their
their quarterback and their second best pass catcher
and their number one defensive player.
Oh yeah,
he who not be named. Right. So that is that hurts. And their starting left tackle is out too. That's a little different than the Packers are missing some key players, the Lions are missing some key players, but their most key players are around.
Well, I mean, our two corners are out. That's going to hurt against a wide receiving core that's literally catching
let's be honest,
everything.
here's the other part of it. Jair's always hurt. So, is that really news? For me, Jair being hurt is almost par for the course.
Yeah.
He's just going to miss games. And I'm not –
Has he played half the season yet?
No.
What are we at? This is week 14. We've got 12
I think he still has a
games.
pace to be able to play half the season if he comes back healthy.
Yeah, so has he played 6 games yet this season?
I'll look into that for you, Matt, because I agree. It seems like it's more of news when he's actually playing than when he's not.
And then how many games did he start and finish? Those snaps in those games. I
Right.
feel like those games he's leaving as well. And that's just unfortunate for him. He is a guy that I do wonder at some point whether his contract's renegotiated or moved on from just because of how injured he's been. How much longer can you pay a guy to be hurt a lot?
Top dollar, too.
Right, that's what I mean. He earned that money, but then when you're hurt, it does affect your money. I do want to ask this question, though, and we'll post this up at ESPN Madison, 844-770-3776. We'll ask Mark Tausch for this. He joins the show at 5:30. But what is the most likely game to be the de facto NFC North championship game? We got the Packers versus the Lions. That's Thursday, week 14. That's a good that's a good opportunity to get that game.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one, which still involves the Packers versus Vikings. Everyone's forgetting about the Vikings. The Vikings are in front of the Packers. If the Lions did stumble a little bit, that's a team that – and the Vikings do play the Lions at the end of the year because this is the last question. Vikings versus Lions week 18. So which one of those is the most likely to be the quote-unquote de facto NFC North championship game? 844-770-3776.
So that's an interesting one because I believe if the Packers lose to the Lions this week, then it's definitely Vikings-Lions. If the Packers win this week,
they're all in play.
Everything's in play.
Yeah.
So
it's just a different
as
way
of now,
yeah.
for now, this is the Packers NFC Championship game. Even if no one's crowned or official, if they don't get this, they could probably just kiss that NFC North division title goodbye.
Yes. Oh, without a doubt, it's done.
It's gone
over
if they don't win this one. So
because also tiebreakers.
That's why I'm going to say this one is the championship game because that's the mentality they need to have if they're going to be able to win it at all.
But that's not what I'm asking.
That's why I'm saying it's this way.
I'm not saying
you said I can think outside the box however I want. This is a thought exercise. That's my thought. Is if they don't win this one, it's done.
But this is not a thought exercise. This is how can I wedge this to make it that the Packers have a chance to win? My whole point is it is the least likely scenario that the Packers win the NFC North, even at this point, no matter what happens.
Nah. If they win this one, I have pretty good confidence. Detroit will go on a skid just like the Bears did when they lost a rough one. The Vikings are going to Vikings. Sam Darnold is eventually going to Darnold.
What evidence do you have that the Lions are going to –
Belief. That's
hope.
hope. Pure hope.
Hope is not a strategy.
It's not a strategy, but that's just what I think is going to happen. I think it's not uncommon for teams to get hit in the mouth and take an extra week to recover. It happens to everybody.
So if the Packers lose, they'll maybe take a week or two to recover?
Entirely possible.
I see.
It's possible.
It is possible.
It's highly unlikely because the Packers do it different. But.
Yeah, 844-770-3776. Bradley, what's your thoughts on this?
That's a good question. I feel like I'm kind of with Matt here. I feel like this week, Packers-Lions, if the Packers win, they kind of put themselves in the driver's seat, barring that they...
Wait, they're not in the driver's seat.
But,
they don't have
but
the
they
driver's
have a game coming up with the Vikings.
Yeah.
They essentially control their own destiny.
They do not control their own destiny because
how do they not?
The Lions have one loss.
Yep.
So if the Lions lose this one and win out, and the Packers just win out, the Lions probably still get it.
They do get it.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you're not in the driver's seat,
the
but
Lions schedule.
we're riding shotgun.
Okay, but also
they got the Bills
Riley,
next
here's
week.
The other thing: the most likely game. It's
they
still
got the
not
Bills next week.
You're riding shotgun is the thing, but
that's why they're going to go on that skid if they lose to the Packers. Then they got to run into Josh Allen.
But losing to an AFC team does not really affect tiebreakers, which the Detroit Lions and the Packers, if they split, now you're looking at NFC opponents. The Packers have not done well against NFC opponents. I don't know the Lions, how they've done against NFC opponents, but the Lions, let's say they lose to Green Bay and Buffalo and win the rest of their games, they were that including that last game of the year, the Vikings Lions won, then they're going to win the division because then they would have won 3 straight NFC games, and that would give them a better record at the end.
Is that the next tiebreakers, NFC games?
Yes.
Jim, you've convinced me, actually. Now, looking at these schedules here, the Vikings and Lions end the season against each other. So let's say Packers win this week. Then Packers beat the Vikings come, December 29th, and the Vikings hold serve. They beat the Falcons, Bears, and Seahawks. Then it would ultimately come down to Lions versus Vikings last week of the season, so in January. So that actually, I'm going to go with that.
I'm just doing this to prove who Tauscher joins us later. Like Tauscher is just being hyperbolic earlier when he said this is the de facto NFC.
Here's the thing.
It is not.
It is for the Packers. It is for the Packers. That's all I'm saying. And so is the next one against the Vikings.
Every game.
But if they lose, they're done. So they have to have this. This is the championship mentality if you're going to win.
Hell, the Packers game against the Bears at the end of the year could be their de facto NFC Championship game. If they lose that, then they might not win.
I get that, but this is the start of it.
The Seattle game
right here, this is the very last game that they can afford to drop.
But I said which one is the most likely to be? It would be the defining game. It would be the last game of the year. The defining game is the most likely game. The last game of the year.
Here's the thing. This is the one where I feel like the Packers have the worst shot at winning. So, like, if you don't get this one done, you're done. So you might as well claim this to be your NFC North title game because without it, you can kiss the North goodbye.
So here's the thing, and I get what you're saying, but it's the end of the game. Games matter the most. Like, just remember when the Lions ended the Packers season with Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers. Remember how Aaron Rodgers' career ended with the Green Bay Packers?
Nope.
No?
It was with him and Randall Cobb.
And a good luck in New York, I think is how it ended.
Nah, Matt, it was Aaron Rodgers and Randall Cobb shoulder to shoulder walking out of Lambeau Field. It was terrible. Really sad.
They looked at each other and said, let's go ruin the Jets.
Yeah, let's go
They
ruin
were plotting
the Jets together.
Jeff J&K is a huge sports fan, huge Brewers fan, Packer fan. Obviously, he is a vet. He owns J&K Security. Family-owned, vet-owned, locally-owned J&K Security Solutions can help with your home or your business, whether it's Control 4, home security, commercial security, any of those things. Please contact our friends, Jeff, and the whole team at J&K Security Solutions. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Ho, my back.
Santa?
Ho, Gina Dello from Pella. You've been a good girl this year.
Is that why you're in here building new windows?
Santa's doing OT.
Let me make a call.
Frighteningly fast Pella team at your service. Let us take it from here, Mr. Claus. And Gina, next time.
I know. Ask for a Pella gift card. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get as low as $19 per window and $81 per patio door per month.
PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. Ends 12/31/2024.
RE/MAX Preferred has been a James Imaging Systems client for over 20 years. RE/MAX Preferred CEO Daniel Bertelson.
James Imaging is one of the vendors that we use to move all of our documents and set up networks and utilize their equipment for scanning and storage purposes.
James Imaging Systems, for over 40 years, a local 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed business technology company.
James Imaging has gone through a lot of evolutions over the years, and the one thing that has remained constant is their customer service and their follow-up.
That's important.
Extremely important. When we don't know what's going on, we can't let other people know what's going on in the company, and we get angry people.
And
James Imaging helps us keep people happy.
Are your people less than happy with your current business technology vendor? Then switch to James Imaging Systems. Call 608-221-3457. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Home practice is about to begin. Your daughter's new tap shoes? Loud. Your son's new tuba? Louder. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft grace zone. So if you lose track of expenses buying some noise-canceling and sanity-saving headphones, we've got your back. You got this with $50 overdraft grace zone from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Breaking news on ESPN Madison is presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or visit metrokiaofmadison.com.
Craft your Brewers mini plan for the 2025 season, featuring all new 6-packs and 12-packs. Get in on the action with great ticket rates, marquee matchups, and priority seating. Plus, you'll get a limited edition Brewers Crowler with each 12-pack or pair of 6-packs. Looking to customize your games to fit your schedule? Build your own ticket plan options are also available. Pick the plan for you at brewers.com/ticket finder.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Ruth's Steakhouse in Middleton. It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. If you are tuning in, Molly Brown, her maternity leave has started, so congratulations to her and her family. We will have her on the show tomorrow. Primetime Wollersheim out sick. Riley Yauk back at the Everlight Solar Studio. Matt Hamilton with me, Jim Rutledge. Again, we are at Ruth's Steakhouse Middleton, presented by Coors Light. We are having a great time out here. We're going to have Lee Trapp join us in a little bit. He likes to hop on, Matt. You always enjoyed. You guys talk food, and he likes to make fun of me for the Chicago Bears. So that's always a good time for everyone. We did have JJ and Poinette chiming in. Divisional tiebreakers are head-to-head, then divisional record, then NFC record. So it'll likely come down to NFC record as the actual tiebreaker. But I don't know, because if it depends what happens.
Well, no, it would be divisional, because assuming the Lions just lose to the Packers, they'll only have one loss in the division.
Well,
the Packers now currently have a Viking and one Lion.
In your scenario, which again goes back to, could that last game of the year be the de-facto NFC Championship game? Yes, because if the Lions lose that one,
Vikings to win,
right? Or the Vikings again could still be in front of the Packers.
Nah, I can't see that happening at that point.
I mean, they only have to play the Falcons, Bears, and Seahawks
so
outside of the Packers and Lions.
They have a rubber match, or not a rubber match, but they have like a match at home against their former quarterback. I know Kirk hasn't been good, but like, let's be real. That's basically a rivalry.
He threw 4 interceptions the last time out.
Okay, you can say that, but a couple weeks ago, Jared Goff threw 5, and no one's saying like, "Oh, Goff's terrible now." I'm just saying, Kirk Cousins is not going to roll over for his old team. Then they got the Seahawks, who seem like they've got their stuff together at this point. I haven't seen any snaps over Geno's head.
So you're not worried about the Seahawks for the Packers, though?
No, not for the Packers, but for the Vikings, who might be.
Where is that game at, Riley? Because the Packers have to go to Seattle.
Are you wondering where the Packers game is at?
No,
or the Vikings? They also have to go to Seattle.
Okay, so that's a wash there. That's going to be tough for anyone going out there. Y'all are Bears fans now, too. You're all hoping Thomas Brown turns it around for them because they have Minnesota and Detroit on the schedule.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
they
lost their coach already, so now you can hope for wins again.
Yeah, not against those teams, though. But, I mean,
why not?
I don't want the Bears to help.
You don't want the Bears to beat a divisional rival in the Vikings?
No.
Man, you sound like such a bad fan.
Yeah, fake fan.
I'm a good fan. I don't want them helping out the Packers. Caleb Williams continue to accumulate stats, but lose those games.
That's just an anti-Packers fan then.
That is
exactly.
Yeah, dude, here's the thing. You are more of an anti-Packers fan than you're a Bear fan.
I'm more like the Bears.
That is what you're telling me.
No, because the Bears winning has no effect on this season. Caleb Williams continues to play well.
It gives Caleb Williams a better chance at winning his Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay, that's neat. I don't care about individual awards. What Caleb Williams is.
Caleb probably wants it. Don't you care about Caleb's feelings?
No, I think Caleb would rather. I think the Chicago Bears organization would rather not help the Packers. They're not going to throw a game, but if it's all said and done and Caleb Williams breaks every passing record the Chicago Bears had in one season, and they finish and they beat the 49ers and they beat, I forget who else they play on the schedule. It's not an NFC North opponent, and they finish with 6 wins and they lose to Minnesota, Detroit, and Green Bay. Oh no, Green Bay would be the last one. Want that one. So 6 wins. That's it. That's 2-2 with Thomas Brown.
You're a bigger Packer hater than you are a Bears fan.
No, I'm not. Because the Bears win.
True.
No,
that is
the
what
Bears
you're saying.
win. The Bears season is over. They can't make the playoffs. They have nothing to play for as far as wins.
Don't you want to see if your quarterback can win a game?
He has won them games. He's brought them back 4 times. And
then what?
All I've heard.
And then they lost.
Okay, but
Amen.
Aaron Rodgers, his first year when they went 6-10, he had multiple times, and that's all I heard, and it proved out right that he would lead his team to a fourth quarter lead and the defense would give it up. And that proved out to be a real problem that he truly was a great quarterback.
But wouldn't you want to see your guy do it now instead of
he is doing
squander it?
Because it's not his fault that Kyle Santo can't make a field goal.
But, Jim, the question is, do you actually trust the Bears organization to get this head coaching hire right?
That's a different story. That's a horse of a different color. That is something completely different here. So 844-770-3776.
I'm going to start referring to you as an anti-Packer fan because you are not a Bear fan.
I would not do this until the Bears were out of it.
Amen.
The Bears are out of it. And again, then why does Jim cheer for the Chiefs? Oh, because I don't want to be that you guys get all in your feels when You're right. I don't want the Packers to make. I want the Packers.
But you don't even want the Bears to beat the Vikings. Is what you're saying, which is comical.
Because it means nothing for this season at all for them to win or lose that game. It means more important for me. I want them to play really well every game they have left. I want the team to look really good. But if they lose every game on a Hail Mary, great, except for the Packer game. Great. That means they were
trying
in
to
all
put
these
myself
games.
in a position like, okay, let's say the Packers are playing the Lions, and if the Packers win, the Bears win the division. If the Lions win, the Lions win the division. I don't know if I could root for the Packers to lose, but still play a good game and be happy
the Packers
with how
are
they
done.
go. And they're done, yes.
You're absolute. No, it's happened before. When the Bears have won the division, the Packers have had games that had an effect on it, and I know for a fact I've been around Packer fans who do not want to help the Bears. This is not an uncommon thing. It's uncommon
I know.
for Packer
I'm trying
fans.
to fathom it as my own fandom.
Right, but
if I could cheer for a non-Packers win, but still hope everybody looks good and has fun.
If you're in it, I've know for a fact Packer fans have done that before. But
Well,
also,
there's definitely a Packer version of Jim Rutledge. Like, I'm not saying that you're
most
a
Packer
unicorn.
fans. Why would you not? If your team's season is done, you want the Packers. You'd want the Packers to win to positively affect your biggest rival.
I mean, I guess honestly, I would rather them lose to hopefully get a better draft pick. That would be like the.
And again, I'm
the
not
driver
rooting. I'm
behind
not
it.
really rooting for them to lose. I'm just not gonna be heartbroken if the Bears lose to Minnesota or Detroit.
Mm.
Like I'll watch the game wanting them to win, but I'm just in this point now where it's like I'm more watching it analytically. How does
Riley,
DeAndre
you
Swift-
buying this?
See,
Buying
so
what Jim's selling?
I've been thinking. I feel like because I understand where you're coming from, Jim. I remember how happy I was when Cody Parkey double doinked it in the playoffs. That was fantastic. It was awesome. However, I feel like you're just more used to this experience as a Bears fan, just rooting for the Packers to lose than we are because the Packers have been so much more successful in recent history.
Absolutely, it's a place I'm
might
comfortable with.
that might be
I've already
right.
come to grips. Like am I disappointed in the season? Absolutely. Am I disappointed in Caleb Williams? Absolutely not. I'm not even disappointed in the roster. I'm disappointed in how the season has gone. And I am worried about what the Bears will do as far as hiring the next coach because they have shown no real ability to do that, hiring the next coach. In fact, George McCaskey took over right before they fired Lovie Smith. So George McCaskey, who is technically the owner because they kind of rotate for the family, he is the one representing ownership right now. He has been an abject disaster hiring coaches. So I don't have a lot of faith in this of them getting it right with the coach. There's only faith I have is they have Kevin Warren in charge instead of the guy who was in charge all the other hires. So, like, those are all real things. But right now what I can focus on is I want my team to look really good, and I don't really care, especially the divisional games, if they win or lose them. And realistically, it's better for me if they lose them.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. It's just a weird, like, I want them to look good but not win. It's just a weird mentality. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure that's.
Because the win doesn't mean anything. This was not the mentality I had 2 weeks ago.
I just feel like it's a divisional opponent. Like,
Who
That's
cares?
still-
win,
that-
it's
like-
bragging
Again,
rights.
but again, it
Wins
goes back
mean
to
something.
No, it doesn't. To
Yeah.
the rivals part of it, I want them to beat the Packers. The Lions and the Vikings, I don't care. I don't even know any Vikings or Lions fans.
Okay, objectively, can we agree? This is a loser's mentality, though, because you would not be here if the Bears didn't suck this year.
Right, but
And
that's
every
all
year.
I got.
It's a loser's mentality.
Right, but I have to still root for my team. What am I going to do?
But that's the thing. You're not. You're rooting for them to have a good time and
Riley,
be
were you
good,
rooting- were you-
so they could harm the Packers' chances. That is what you're rooting for. Is the Packers?
I'm sorry.
to
Are you
not
guys
have
not
that
fans?
shot.
Riley just admitted he roots against the Bears when they play. You root against your biggest rival no matter what. Whatever the circumstances are. I don't want the Bears to do anything to help the Packers at all.
But
Yes,
that, and
but
that
I will
supersedes, and it
Oh, but
supersedes
again, but Matt, these
the
games,
divisional
but like,
opponent I'm
Matt,
playing.
These games are worthless. They are completely pointless from a fan perspective. The players need to go out and play, but these games for the Bears mean bupkis. Nothing. And in fact, it's better if they lose because they get a higher draft pick too. There is no incentive for a fan to be rooting for the Bears to win. I want them to look like a capable football team and the players to look good, but the wins or losses of this does not affect me against San Francisco or any of these other games. I would say I'm indifferent if they win or lose any of these games outside of the Packer game.
Okay, the Adam in Madison also just chimed in with a very good point. He said, I feel like it's different because the Packers have bigger rivalries with the Vikings and Lions than the Bears do. I feel like that's true because I also really hate the Vikings. Lions, so. But I don't know, Jim, like, do Bears fans really hate the Vikings?
I said I don't know any Vikings fans.
Exactly.
I don't know any Lions fans.
Riley,
so what do I
we're
care?
Clearly the most hated team in the North.
Exactly.
If every other
exactly.
fan base wants you to lose constantly.
Yeah, they're just coming for the king. We're kings, even though
I
the
live in
Lions are better.
Wisconsin. if you go to Detroit, they're going to have different feelings about it. If you are a fan of the opposite team in enemy territory, it's going to feel like everyone's against you. If I was in Chicago, I might feel different about Detroit and Minnesota. I, in my world, am not around Detroit Lions or Vikings fans.
Nate, you know what, Jim? That if that's your mentality, you just we were able to hash it out in the air and figure out exactly where you stand coming for the rest of the season.
How are you surprised on this?
I still like when my team wins football games.
What do I
That's
care?
call me crazy.
Yes,
But
I
why?
would
Why?
still-
Why?
When
It
the
means
Packers,
nothing. This isn't college
It
football.
does. It means something.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it makes you feel bad about having losses.
No, I don't.
You should.
Why? I don't carry this loss around. I don't play for the team.
Yeah, but as a fan, aren't you
That's a bad fan.
Yeah,
That's just a bad
exactly.
fan.
Aren't you in a little
Look,
bit better
can we
mood
mark
when the
this
Bears
because
win?
you guys are full of crap? The next time the Packers have the ability to affect the Bears positively, depending if there's no positive effect for the Packers, I guarantee and same thing with the Brewers.
You're going to be retired by the time the Packers have a chance.
Go to the
for
Brewers.
You to do
if
this.
the Brewers have the chance to help the Cubs, you're not going to be in the Brewers, and it makes no effect on the Brewers. You're not going to be rooting for them to win that game.
I don't know though. I don't think so.
I guarantee I am like
I've
most
had
fans.
situations as a player where I've had a game and I know if I win this game, I'm going to have a harder opponent in the future.
That's a different thing.
There's no way I'm looking like, oh, if we lose, that's fine.
Right, but
I'm okay with it because I'm not saying I'm throwing the game, but I'm not. It doesn't make the loss any better in my eyes.
But
I don't feel better about it.
No player thinks that. I'm never saying you would never think that. But as a fan, I'm just being practical. I'm not going to get all in my feels about meaningless football games. For the Bears, unfortunately, these games are meaningless. And I guarantee you, one, I know for a fact because it's happened before, when the Bears have had chances to win. It doesn't happen often, but when they have chances to win the division, the Packers, I've been around Packer fans who don't want their team to win if they're out of it to help the Bears. I've been around that. That is not a abnormal thing. Just like if the Cubs have a chance to, let's say, win the division and the Brewers are out of it, the Brewers don't want to be the team. I know I've had this conversation as well.
Like if the Brewers beat the Reds, the Cubs win.
Right. The Brewers don't want to. The Brewers
You think I'm
fans are
going
not
to cheer
upset.
for the Reds?
No, you're just not upset if the Brewers don't win.
Okay.
And I'm not cheering for the Vikings. It's just that the Bears go out and lose to the Vikings.
You're not upset by it.
Right.
But if they win, are you upset if they win because they help the Packers?
Here's the
Does
point.
that bum you out?
No, it won't bum me out either. But it'll bum me out if they won and Caleb played bad. Because for me, the most important thing this year is I want Caleb Williams to continue to grow as a franchise QB. That is the most important thing for me.
I think I've finally wrapped my head around your feelings on it. I can't say I agree with it, but I've wrapped my head around it.
And JJ and Poinette and plenty of Packers fans said, like, obviously you're rooting for the Bears against Detroit, right?
Well, yeah, that gives us our best shot to get in. But I'm not rooting against my team or, like, being okay if my team loses. It's a little different. Like, I'm rooting for my best interest. You're rooting for the worst interest of the Packers. That's the difference.
Again, even let's put it in the Packers' terms. If the Packers are in a position where, let's say, they have the like when the Packers sit players, you want at the end of the year. Let's say the Bears play the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers have nothing to play for. The last game of the year.
I do not want to lose that game.
Do you want the Packers to play their starters?
For a little bit. First half, at least.
Really?
That's what they did against Detroit a couple years ago. In Detroit.
But did the Packers have anything to gain from that game?
I don't think they did, which is why they had the option to not play their starters. I do think there's something about reps. Taking a whole week off is not necessarily a good thing. So, yeah, I would want starters to be played.
Well, that's not true because everyone wants to bye.
First half of the game,
I believe in that specific scenario, the Packers had to bye.
They
so,
did,
yeah,
and
so you
then
want to
Rodgers played the first half.
Right, because you needed to play them. You don't want 2 weeks off. That's different.
Right.
I'm saying you don't have the bye. And so it honestly would behoove the team. The smart move for the team would be not to play your starters.
I mean, the Bears did that. The Packers got the win, and then they ran into you in the –
Well, no, actually, Tauscher kind of negated that. He said that the Bears played more starters than I remember. He played that game. I'll defer to him on that. So I'm asking you in this scenario. Would you want them to sit the starters? There's literally no gain except for rest. Like the best
I don't want to lose.
Okay,
so
I'm not saying lose. I'm not saying you're rooting against the team. I'm saying, but the Packers, you as a smart fan,
you can
say
sit
your
a
starters.
select group of players.
Every important player.
Man, I don't know. That's tough.
I mean, you can't sit them all. You got to play some people.
Right,
But like,
it's tough.
Christian Watson gets hurt all the time. Sit him. Romeo Doubs gets hurt all the time. Sit him. Jordan Love, you can't not have him for the playoffs. Sit him. Right? Jacobs, you can't not
Whole
have
game?
him.
I think there's plenty of ways that you can play smart, and
that's not the smart thing to do. When you don't have the bye. When you have the bye, that's different.
I don't know. This is
all right.
this
Get out
is
of here. We got to play a
tricky.
minute.
I don't know if I
Get
can agree with this.
Get out of here. We got to play a minute to win it. It's because I'm correct, and you just don't want to admit to it. But that's fine. Riley, what is our minute to win it category here?
Okay, is my voice coming through the speakers? Can Matt hear me right now?
I cannot hear you.
Okay, excellent. Our minute to win it category will be Wisconsin football's 2025 opponents. There are 12 of them.
Ooh, love it. All right. Okay, so that'll be our minute to win a question. What do we want to set the over and under at?
I was talking with Hunter about this earlier. I think there's enough common Big Ten teams on here, and I think I'll get Bama. I'm thinking 7.5.
7.5? Okay, So we'll set it at 7.5. And then we're going to do 844-770-3776. What callers are we doing here?
Let's go 3 and 7 for no particular reason. I guess field goal and touchdown. There we go.
There you go. Callers number 3 and caller number 7. You're at least going to get a $25 gift card, North South Seafood and Smokehouse. Caller number 3, caller number 7, 844-770-3776 for a minute to win it. It is Badgers' opponents next year. The line is 7.5, 844-770-3776. Again, caller number 3 and caller number 7. Before we go to break here, I want to tell everyone about Bruce Company. Since I'm out here at Ruth Chris Steakhouse in Middleton, Bruce Company is right around the corner. Maybe I'll swing on over there and see all the holiday stuff they have going on. You can go there on the weekends to check out the holidays, the Snowy Owl, the reindeer. They also have Mr. and Mrs. Claus coming to Bruce Company. A great place to get yourself ready for the holidays, but also just go out there and enjoy a holiday experience over at the Bruce Company in Middleton. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starion Bank, with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starion Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience at starionbank.com. Member FDIC. Stay close to home. Barry Alvarez's sentiments as the offseason begins for Wisconsin football. Coach hoping Luke Fickell and co. refine their in-state recruiting strategy. More from his appearance on ESPN Madison's Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez.
You make sure that every good player in your state stays home. And I don't know if that's a priority right now. If I had some guys that came in that have established themselves someplace, I'd bring them in. But the rest better be guys, good high school players from areas that you know.
If you're not getting windows from Santa, get as low as $19 per window and $81 per patio door per month. PellaWI.com.
Hey, it's John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. Come in and discover the high standards, classic traditions, honesty, integrity, and elegance when you walk through our doors. For over 90 years, customers have returned again and again to our warm boutique setting. Trust me, because I've been there for over 40 of them. Whether it's time to come back or your first time in, stop by Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street today. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because they never charge over the MSRP.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. In 1995, Tito Beveridge built his very own distillery and put his life savings into it. Since then, he's won the unanimous Judge's Choice Double Gold Medal at the World Spirits Competition, the Chairman's Trophy for World's Best Vodka Tonic, and many others. Tito's Handmade Vodka is still made on the same land where he started it, all in Austin, Texas. Distilled from corn and gluten-free. Visit us at Tito'sVodka.com for recipes, videos, and more. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Join the ESPN Wisconsin NCAA Volleyball Tournament Challenge. Sign up on ESPN.com or the ESPN app. Join the ESPN Wisconsin group and fill out your bracket by Thursday. Grand prize package features tickets to a Wisconsin match next season. Official contest rules at ESPNWisconsinContest.com.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We're live from Ruth Chris Steakhouse in Middleton.
The smell is distracting.
It really
smells amazing in here.
We might have to. I wasn't really hungry when I got here. We might have to get an appetizer to share or something here. But we are going to play Minute to Win It, brought to you by our good friends North South Seafood. The Smokehouse, 3 locations in the Madison area, DeForest, Madison, and Verona. We have 2 callers. One gets 50. One gets 25. The over-under is set at 7.5. Before you give the category, Riley, what was who did they go over under when they?
Yeah, first caller.
Alrighty, Ted in Evansville. He went with the under. He does not believe in you, Matt.
I mean, honestly, he probably listens to the show a lot because we've gone under the last 10 weeks in a row, I would imagine.
Matt freaked out when I gave him the over-under.
Yeah, I sat down. I was like, don't tell me the category. What number did you put at? He's like 7.5. I'm like, I haven't gotten 7 right in ages. Like, what is it?
I think this will be close.
Big Ten teams?
Close. You're close. Andrew in Middleton has the over, and your category today is the 2025 Wisconsin football schedule. All of Wisconsin's opponents for next year. There are 12 of them.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
Go.
Oregon?
Wait.
Pure confidence, whether I think I'm totally right or not.
Or crumble under pressure.
I legitimately know one of these. I legitimately have one.
This is the Minute to Win It, presented by North and South Seafood and Smokehouse, with 3 locations in Madison, DeForest, and Verona.
All right, go ahead.
All right, we got Oregon, Washington, I think Illinois. Riley?
You're supposed to be giving a ding.
Okay, there we go.
Or a buzz. There you go.
Minnesota. I'm guessing probably Iowa. I don't think we have the Huskers. Indiana. We don't have Penn State. Michigan State? Michigan? Okay. Oh, that's 7, I think. I need one more. Northwestern? Oh, no. One more. Okay. It's got to stay in the Big Ten, right?
Yes. No, I mean, they don't
but I don't know any of the other teams.
Conference?
I'm just trying to think of I feel like we have one big game. It's not Alabama. It's not LSU. There's got to be one more. I'll just USC.
Dude, you said it.
Close.
Which
you
one?
Had it.
Was it Alabama?
Yep.
Oh, we have Alabama again. It's in Tuscaloosa.
Yep.
Oh,
yes.
Man, I got 7.
What a line.
That was a good line.
Yes.
Okay, what are some of the non-conference ones?
Alrighty.
Besides Alabama.
I didn't think you were going to get Middle Tennessee or
Okay.
Miami of Ohio, but it goes Miami of Ohio.
We said it yesterday.
Honestly, if he'd said Miami, I would have given it to him.
We said it yesterday. We said Miami of Ohio.
It's in our text chain, the actual schedule.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. And then what other ones did I miss here?
Yep, so you missed Miami, Middle Tennessee, Alabama. You got Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Oregon, Illinois, Iowa. But then you missed the last 3, Maryland, Ohio State, and Washington.
I said
You
Washington.
said Washington.
Oh, you said Washington? Oh, yeah, we counted that at the start. Then you
we
missed
did.
Maryland and Ohio State.
Ohio State for Big Ten ones.
I'll tell you what, I did not know Indiana was on the schedule, so good for you on that one.
I knew that because obviously our resident Colts fan, also a Hoosier, as he's been insufferable this season.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to tell him, I was like, you played one ranked opponent and you got beat. Right. You got drubbed. Not just beat, you got the floor wiped with you. But yeah, he's been rough. So I've been aware that Indiana's on the schedule for next year. But that was a fair one because I like that I at least got some answers right. Like I was close. You guys just picked a really good line. 7. You picked 7.5. Not bad. I probably should have guessed Ohio State or
I was
Alabama,
waiting for
though.
that one.
I just couldn't remember if we had Ohio State again, but we needed to have one more
It's
big
honestly
one.
a pretty impressive performance by you, though. You shouldn't feel any shame.
Valiant effort.
Honestly, I think if I would have had Molly, we would have got it. I think
Probably.
we'd have got
Post-pregnancy brain, Molly Brown, yes.
Pre-pregnancy brain, maybe.
No, I mean, I would probably as well, just not pregnancy brain.
Gotcha.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes. All right, we'll come back. We're going to talk to Lee from Ruth Chris, and we also got Throwing Stones. We got Tauscher coming up as well. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Step into nostalgia with the Miller High Life Dive Bar of the Week. Listen to Jim, Matt, and Molly every Thursday to find out where you can enjoy $2 Miller High Lifes and High Life Lights. To celebrate our love for dive bars, we are going to tell you about some of our favorites, featuring one extra special dive bar that will have $2 High Lifes on special for the week. Taste the champagne of beer in its natural environment. A delightfully different dive bar in Wisconsin like Chief's Tavern, Connie's Home Plate, Riley Tavern, and Villa Tap.
Hey, it's Kelly Sheffield, Wisconsin Badgers volleyball head coach. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good evening, Madison. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update brought to you by the 608 Basketball Tournament, December 13th and 14th at Madison College. The premier boys basketball showcase in Madison featuring the best teams from around the state and Division I recruits. Purchase discounted pre-sale tickets now at 608basketball.com. Starting in basketball, the 11th-ranked Badgers dropped their first game in Big Ten play last night, falling 67-65 to the Michigan Wolverines. It's their first loss this season. They'll look to bounce back, however, this Saturday against little brother, 5th-ranked Marquette at Fiserv Forum. And speaking of the Forum, the Milwaukee Bucks play host to the Atlanta Hawks this evening. Milwaukee is 9-1 in their last 10 and look to keep it rolling before traveling to Boston on Friday. Tip-off tonight is scheduled for 7 p.m. with pregame coverage beginning at 6:30 after Jim, Matt, and Molly and the Kelly Sheffield Show right here on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN. And finally in football, National Signing Day, and the Badgers gather the 25th best class of 2025 according to 247 Sports. However, Tretch Kahuna is hitting the portal.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's
let
gonna
me get
swing
this
on
right.
Jim. He's a complicated fellow. Oh.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
See, we've talked about it. My husband is a Minnesota Viking, which means he's a troll.
Your husband signed off on this as a Vikings fan?
Do you think I take my husband's feelings into consideration about this?
son. Maybe he wants to be a Vikings fan.
I don't know, but basically we rode up to the Viking game last year, got sick.
Can't you just say healthiest? Why do you have to use the double negative and confuse a guy like me? Because now I had to click and see which one was it what it was. And I figured it out, but I hated it.
Which one what it was?
Clickbait. Clickbait, Ryan.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are live from Ruth Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. Matt Hamilton got the menu. Are you bringing home some food now?
Yeah, you know what? I feel like I'm not going to be able to cook tonight. You know, it's a half hour, well, not a half hour. It's 20 minutes away from my house. It's too late to start cooking at 6:30.
And we're at Ruth's and you're smelling.
And I'm smelling Ruth's. I'm like, babe, I can't really do a steak much better than these guys.
Right. It's basically, babe, I'm eating steak. Do you want to join?
Do you also want to eat steak?
Because this is happening.
Yeah.
It's just, are you joining me in this meal?
Honestly, it's not really even a question. Like,
Right.
I'm out here. I could. Can you imagine just telling her, like, hey, I'll be fine for dinner. You just worry about yourself. Like, what'd you have? Oh, I had a Ruth's Chris. What'd
Right.
you have? I had a peanut butter and jelly because you didn't cook for me.
Well, see, that happens at time in the Rutledge house because my kids need to eat. They eat around 6, sometimes 6:30. But, like, my wife will make meals for the
Right.
kids. So sometimes, like, we're out here and, we get some food, and I'm like, well, I had to try it when in Rome. Like, I can't be rude.
Make them like a grilled cheese.
Yeah.
And then save it for when I bring the food home.
True. But the kids, my girls like steak as much as we do now. Like, they get older.
They
and
got
now
some expensive taste.
Right, they do. Because we do the quarter beef, so we have steaks at home, so I'll make
Looking
them.
for that Piedmontese beef.
Exactly, from Metcalf's there. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. We are at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Riley Yauk filling in for Primetime Lorsheim back at the Everlight Solar Studio. You can get into the show, 844-770-3776. We have Tauscher coming up in a little bit here. We are thrilled to be joined by Lee.
He's making his way over
awesome
right now.
Friend. He's going to throw his headset on, and we will talk to him about Ruth, but also about the some of the Wisconsin sports teams. Lee, we know you're a big fan. Pull down your microphone right up here. I'll pull it down for you here. There you go. And Lee is now on the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Lee, thanks for taking time. Obviously, busy night for you, so thanks for hopping over and chat with us.
Thanks, Jim. Good to see you, Matt.
Yeah. Stoked to be here. I just got the menu for
so he's going to bring something home for his wife. Yeah,
definitely appreciate if I bring home dinner for two.
Got any suggestions that you should bring home?
Well, we got to get you back in the restaurant, too, you two, with your significant others, for sure.
We should do like a double date. That way the wives can meet each other.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, enjoy some steak.
I've thought about coming out here a couple times with my Ruth's Chris chef's coat and just see if I could just walk back to the kitchen and just be like, "Can I get a fire on table 5, please?" And just start,
I think you
trying to run it like I was just a part of it.
You got to wear that gold medal with it, where people aren't sure exactly what's going on. Is he just a great chef with a certain?
Just wears his medal too.
He's got a chef medal, or is
I like
that
to
an
run
Olympic?
Expo with my medal on, just to make sure people know. That way, the front of house knows who's the boss, and then the back of the house knows who's the boss.
Nice.
Lee.
Yeah, Lee is, not me.
Actually, Lee, we'll take a suggestion here. I think Matt and I are going to split an appetizer. What should we get? What appetizer should we have to carry through the rest of the show?
Of course, they're all delicious.
Right.
But I think the ahi tuna
Yeah, you know us well. So
tends to be
That's
just a
a
fan
good one.
favorite.
Yes.
It's
That's a
a
good one, yeah.
sashimi style
Yeah,
ahi tuna. It's got kind of a beer sauce to it, but it has a wasabi flavor to it.
Yeah.
And it's got a nice little cucumber relish. It's delicious. It's light.
Perfect.
It is true. It's not, you're not going to fill up on it.
Right. I don't want to fill
worry
up.
about
My wife's making dinner.
Yeah, but speaking of filling up, I mean, then we got a great burger and a steak sandwich,
Burger's
right?
so good.
That's part of the happy hour menu too.
It is. The happy hour menu is fantastic here. The steak sandwich is so good. Like I've said before, it's like Madison's best kept secret with the happy hour.
Mm-hmm.
But the burger, the last time, I don't know if it was you, like Chris Orr and I were here, we got the burgers. And I was blown away about how fantastic a burger can be.
Good burger,
It is such a good burger. Like you're like, it's a burger. You're like, nope, never mind. This is an amazing cheeseburger.
Not all burgers are made the same.
Not even close. Like I've never had a burger as good as in my life as good as burger I had here.
So if you're a burger connoisseur, please come on in to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and
Yeah.
You get
One
yourself
thing you can count on, the meat that you're going to get here at Ruth's Chris is prime.
It-
Prime grade, that's what you're
Amen,
looking for. It's the best. You got that fat content that you're looking for when it comes to a burger.
So before we get into some sports talks, do you have any, you want to talk shop with Lee? Anything you want to throw at him? Any recipe ideas or anything like that?
Don't make me nervous like that. Oh, I thought we were going to talk sports stuff.
We
I was
will,
like,
we will,
a sports quiz or.
But no. Matt's obviously loves to talk food too. So before I don't know if Matt had any food.
Yeah, so I've been workshopping this potato dish for a side. So you know how like ratatouille is made? You've seen the movie?
Yes.
I'm sure most of our listeners.
Now I learned in that movie that ratatouille was actually a meal. I did not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's basically thinly sliced vegetables and potato and stacked. So what I'm doing now is I'm just doing that with potatoes, just like mandolin the potatoes nice and thin. Toss them with all my ingredients in a bowl. Sometimes I like caramelized onions. There's garlic in there. You can do whatever. Cheese thrown in. And then I'll like basically stack them all back together and put them in a pie tin or something. So they're all basically sitting vertically, these super fine slices. And then I'll let them
So
bake.
is it like a pie in a sense?
Kind of, but there's
casserole?
not like I don't know how to classify it. Get maybe a casserole because, again, there's not too many ingredients to it. And then with about 15 minutes left in baking, a little bit of heavy whipping cream on top to let that reduce while it bakes. And it's just, they're really good potatoes. And
Hey, you know what?
I
You
think
know
that
what
needs
you're
to be a
doing.
side.
That's why it tastes so good.
Maybe. But
Caramelized onions. Listen to you. It's great.
I mean, there's got to be depth of flavor. Potato is
Heavy cream on top. That's a good little finish up.
Yep, it's going to brown it nicely. So that is my go-to right now, and I think it would work for a kitchen like this because you could make that, let it cool and chill, and then re-blast it.
Sure.
And because it's potato, you're not really going to overcook unless you forget it. So I was like, well, maybe Lee's looking for a side special one of these days. Because perfect
gold
for
medal dish.
Perfect share side, right? Because you can make them big enough for 2 or 3 all the time. I don't know. Maybe, just drop me a line. I could give you my recipe.
Chef Matt, I love it.
You can forward it to these guys and be like, just have it be inspired by this.
You give him the jacket, it goes right to his head. So, I mean, he thinks he can handle
He's not wrong.
Yeah, no. He already fancies himself a chef, and he is a good cook. I've had some food that Matt has made.
I've already equated myself as a curler to a professional football player, and we're, same but different.
Oh.
So... Jim's been rolling his eyes quite a bit at me today.
Well, he did look a little bit, like Clay Matthews today when he came in, remember? And even did that gorilla thing he did.
Matt, tell Lee how we kind of got started as a show. We bonded over food.
Yeah, he came over to the house. Me and Jim was first. He was basically – I didn't realize this was an interview, but it was essentially informal interview. It's like, let's hang out, see how we vibe, and whether this show would be any good or not. Like, if we don't connect, then it's not going to be something – we're not going to force it through. So he shows up, and, of course, I had whiskey and beer available, but I made a nice little charcuterie board. There's always a lot of good cheeses at my house. There's always good cheeses at my house. So, I had a nice little board of some cheeses, had some fancy local honey out, crackers. Yeah, it was.
He won me over.
It was good. Won him over.
Doing the show ever since. Yeah,
he's making an impression.
Yeah, right. He has never brought me back since, but that one time he brought me over.
I got the job. What do you want me to do, Jim?
Romance is over,
Right, I know, right?
We're married now. Right. That was the dating phase. Like, we had our little honeymoon phase.
One
when
day.
It was still, like when it was still Rutledge and Hamilton. Now that's Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Yeah.
It's like we're growing up,
We got kids. Molly's not even here anymore. We will have to we do have to. Molly's got this running gag now that unfortunately every time we come out here, there's something pops up that Molly can't be a part of it. But
she made it one time back when she was sitting in a Rutledge and Hamilton meeting.
Also, it has nothing to do with her not liking me?
No. She's so mad. I guarantee she's upset even now that she didn't get a chance to come here. So we'll be back again sometime in March after she has the baby after she's back from maternity leave.
That'd be great to see her. She deserves that rest.
She had her twins this last weekend.
She's reaching out to you guys 2 hours after she had the babies.
Yes.
It's amazing.
I was bragging to Lee about how we were the number one on the ESPN Madison list there. So, yeah.
Right behind parents, it came Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Yeah, so we'll take that. Yeah. So, Lee, obviously you're a huge Packers fan. Lots of different sports, but Packers is kind of it seems like your favorite here. So.
For sure.
How you feel about the team? I know Matt is all in.
Is he all in?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for him.
Yeah. Matt's the.
I don't think
even though they don't have Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback.
Even despite not having a first ballot Hall of
Famer. Oh, you're going there that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am still confident that the Packers can finish the season strong and go into the playoffs with the same kind of hype that was going into the playoffs last year.
They have a good potential. These two teams are in the exact same position like last year. They both won one, or at least we're hoping it's going to go that way as a Packer fan, but they both won one at their own other guy's turf. And we got our butts kicked. Remember that first game last year against the Lions? Yep. And then we came back and showed our stuff.
On Thanksgiving.
They beat us again. We'll see. It'd be great. Yeah. But, if we don't, then we just still got to ante up because we're still a good team. We got a good record, but it'd be nice to, I'm sure Detroit really wants this. They're at home, and they want to kind of tell them that they're on top. These are, the great thing about these are old rivalries, that we forget about sometimes. I always think Bears and Packers.
Yeah, it almost seals the deal for the Lions as far as their NFC North contentions, because obviously they still have the Vikings as well, but firmly in the driver's seat. They'd still be in the driver's seat with a loss, but they're looking like far and away the best team if they manage this one.
If they manage this one, for sure.
Now, I was telling Jim,
it's going to be tough to catch them anyways.
It'd be big for the Packers to win this one because their bounce-back game would have to be against the Buffalo Bills, and that is not going to be a pushover game. 2-game skids can turn into
bounce-back for Lions game?
Yeah, if the Packers are able to beat the Lions, their bounce-back game, their next game is against the Buffalo Bills, who are leading the AFC right now, or second? They're leading because they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Bills and the Lions are like the hottest teams right now, kind of in it.
Absolutely.
Right?
So pretty excited to see how this game plays out because I was telling Jim, this is essentially a divisional championship game for the Packers because if they lose it, you can kiss the division goodbye.
Right.
There's no chance we can win the North. If you win it, you still need things to go your way, but at least you still have a chance.
And we create doubt on the Lions, and we create more aspiration for our team too, right? We start thinking, hey, we got this now. We're the team to beat, right?
Yeah, this is going to be a big mental boost for this team if they can.
Sports get so fun
But
during
what about,
this time.
So what about the other way?
Can't happen.
Okay.
Can't happen.
Here's the thing. I don't think the Lions are going to be as hyped to beat the Packers because the Packers aren't. They don't have that one loss. Where the Lions, being the better team.
You have Philadelphia on your heels.
Oh,
if you're the
yeah.
Lions.
Good
you
point.
want the home field.
Oh, no, I'm not saying – I was just saying like a mentality boost when you're playing like a rival. Like the Lions are favored. So, like, the upset, the team that delivers the upset is going to be more excited for the win than the team that was favored to win going on to win. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
The Lions have been playing a lot of football, though, these last 4 games. I think it's like really a small window of because they've been playing Thursday games and things like that. I think they have like
Lions, both had that Thursday game last week, Thursday game this week.
Yeah.
The week before, I feel like Lions were like
the Lions are
later on
definitely
Sunday.
like 4 games. The last 4 games are really like when you go, oh my gosh, that's quite a schedule.
Yes, and the Lions have played some tight games. They're pretty beat up. But so are the Packers. Both these teams are missing some key players. I think this game will be really close. I think it will come down to the wire. I just always like to tease Matt on the opposite of, like, what if it goes the other way and your team loses? Like, the Packers could also go in the tank if they lose this game.
I'll
Because now the
acknowledge
division
that
is, the division is
when it
out the window
happens.
then.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Who does Jim Rutledge think's going to win real quick?
Oh, he thinks the Lions are going to win for sure.
I actually don't know. I felt like the Lions – actually, I thought the Packers were going to win before I saw the Packers injury report. It's a lot of players out for the Packers, too. So now I feel like it kind of – for initially, I thought the Packers have played 2 really good games. And even though the opponents are lesser, that confidence of playing high football is really important. The Lions have played some tight games. But Jair out, Romeo Doubs out, Cooper out. There's one more
Those guys are
player
all out?
Yes.
It is tomorrow.
Corey Ballantyne.
I thought it was early.
And Ballantyne out. So, like, the Packers – and then the Lions were pretty hurt, too. They got beat up in that Bear game. But now that the Packers are beat up, too, I think it'll be a pick 'em. I might still pick the Packers in this one.
Okay. So Lee's giving you $100 to Ruth's Chris, right? Okay. If you're right, you double it. But if you're wrong, it's gone. Where are you going? Where are you putting that $100?
I'd still stick with, like, I think the Packers are going to win this one. As of right now today, I still have the Packers kind of winning it. Like,
you guys heard it? Clip that, please.
But like,
Riley,
Matt,
clip it.
I might have the best record picking the Packers this year, though, because I don't pick them to win every time.
See,
I've been right on Minnesota beating them and Detroit beating them last time. The only time I was wrong, I did it ceremonial, and I almost got it right, was when I picked the Bears to win. I just said Bears will win by a point just because I'm a Bears fan. I didn't actually think they'd win, and I almost got that one right.
I've got it right 9 times this year. I'm 9-3.
Right, but I think I'm
because I just pick them to
I
win
think I only
every
got
week.
it once. I think I only got it wrong once. So
all right, not bad.
I do think the Packers right now. I think they're streaking in the right direction. They play with more confidence right now.
Super Bowl?
No, I do not think they're.
Matt?
I mean, they'll probably make the NFC Championship game against the Lions.
It's always the excitement.
They have 3 teams in front of them that have beaten them this year: in Minnesota, Detroit, and Philadelphia. And I think it really depends on what the Packers do. They have to play the wild card, and they have to play on the road. I think if that's the case, there's no chance. Otherwise, I think everyone's still competing to say who's going to play the Detroit Lions in Detroit
I agree.
to go to the Super Bowl.
It's
now,
true.
it could be the Packers to do it, but I still think in that game
We
I
might
pick Detroit.
know how to do it after we win this
You
one.
know how to do it. You split them with them last year.
Yeah, well, now we're just confirming we know how to win in
But then the reverse.
Motor
is
City Stadium.
the reverse would be the Lions have won 3 out of 4. They've ended your season multiple years in a row. The Lions all of a sudden
There
have
is no
a,
reverse. We're looking forward,
mental,
Jim. We're looking
mental edge on
forward
the
right
Packers.
now, Jim. We're looking forward. We're on to Cincinnati.
And we're the Green Bay Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Greatest team in NFL history.
Probably New England.
Most storied
New
franchise
England. Oh,
in NFL
no.
history.
Story just means old.
Yeah, and I'll take that.
So if the Chiefs get one more Super Bowl, they're just as old and they'll have more titles. So do they pass you then?
The Chiefs didn't get to join the NFL until the Super Bowl era.
But in the Super Bowl era, that's what you're talking about. Because if you're going non-Super Bowl era, then you got to talk about
Packers.
Well, no, you know what? I was going to actually say the Bears should be thrown in there as one of the greatest teams
non-Super
ever.
Bowl era, the Bears are up there in titles.
Yeah,
So
because
how do we
titles,
play?
right?
We're talking 1919. first.
The Packers exist
storied
because
franchise.
the Bears cut you a check. And George Hallis went to Green Bay and
Oh
said,
no,
keep
here
your team
comes the
around.
anger
Yeah,
right now.
that's the anger
Here comes
because
the
he realized
bitterness.
he wouldn't have any of these issues if George Hallis didn't screw the Bears over the way he did back in the day.
Yeah. They said George Hallis didn't fundraise for the Packers, then they wouldn't have had a problem.
Because he knew that they were the ones bringing in the money.
The curse of being the curse of being a good guy. That's what the Bears got.
Yeah, it could have been the George Hallis Trophy for the championship Super Bowl.
It's a George Hallis to get to the Super Bowl, but not the actual one
Right.
to win the Super Bowl. Yeah. It could have been who's the Chiefs coach because they were in that first Super Bowl.
Len Dawson that was quarterback.
Who was the coach for the Chiefs?
Oh yeah,
he's a famous coach too.
He's
a Hall of Fame coach.
Super Bowl one coach?
Yeah, but I'm saying if he had won, that it could have been Hank Strom maybe.
Hank Strom. That is correct.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Nice.
Wow,
Riley,
Jim.
Big
Good
Chiefs
work.
guy here too. So
Big Chiefs guy. I know you watched that game.
I'm not that old. I'm not that old. But, Lee, anything else we should know? Obviously, the holidays are coming up. Holiday parties. There's one going on right now. What else should we know about Bruce with the holidays coming
I just want to always encourage everybody to come on in, say hi. You know, it's the holidays, and it is kind of stressful, and then sometimes you just want to kind of relax with some friends, maybe sometimes too much, but come on in and say hi. Yeah, I'd love to see you, and I always appreciate you guys being here for sure.
I love the idea of coming in and getting a Coors Light and having a burger and just having a nice, chill, end of the day before you go home sort of
Horseshoe
evening.
Bar, come as you are.
Yeah, exactly. There you are. Matt, you're dressed up today, too.
I do look very nice today. I got my wool sweater on.
Yeah. You get Matt to dressed up, you know he likes to play.
I was thinking about that convertible car he's got, too.
Yeah,
he's always got
something
stylish going on always, you know.
Matt's always got something going on.
Yeah.
Lee, thanks for having us out here.
Pleasure, gentlemen.
Appreciate
Merry
it.
Christmas.
All right, this is Jim, Matt, and Molly live from Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner for over 40 years. And RE/MAX Preferred has been a client for nearly half of those years. CEO Daniel Bertelsen.
I think over all the years, they've always remained competitive with their pricing, with their service calls, with everything that we pay.
James Imaging Systems, better document imaging technology and better customer care.
Reliability and consistency are the key to any successful business, and for our networking and digital solutions, they've been that right along with us for all these years.
Daniel, James Imaging Systems, a business technology partner and a business partner.
Yes, sir. I think James Imaging has been both for us over the years, and having that in-between person that we trust is really important to us.
Lacking trust with your current business technology vendor? Then switch to James Imaging Systems. Call 608-221-3457. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for my friends at Kohler Services. Well, if you need a bath or shower remodel this holiday season, turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, get 0 interest financing for 12 months and a free shower door with your Lugstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast, professional installation always included. Again, that's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Gruber Law Offices presents Thanalysis.
Brian Greenhorse.
A podcast from Thanasis Antetokounmpo.
The 2021 championship is one of the purest championships.
Also supported by Carbless, premium ready-to-drink cocktails.
Even if Giannis wins 2 more, it will never be like that.
And Potawatomi Casino Hotel in Milwaukee.
The mountaintop was achieved.
Subscribe on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Green Bay Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers. Chalmers Jewelers, with locations in Middleton and downtown Madison.
What did you call yourself, Thundercat? Well, I appreciate it, Thunder.
Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer
Matt Hamilton. Help me out. Who is that?
Wisconsin football analyst.
You know what? It feels like Molly's the only one that's being sincere about that. So, Molly, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Mark Tauscher on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers. Chalmers Jewelers, with locations in Middleton and downtown Madison.
Jim, Matt, and Molly continues live from Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. Jim Rutledge, Matt Hamilton with you. Riley Yauk back at the Everlight Solar Studio. Molly Brown officially on maternity leave after she gave birth to a baby boy and baby girl. She'll be joining the show tomorrow, but that means Mark Tauscher will be joining the show with most likely me most of the time, but Mark, randomly, Matt Hamilton is here too. So what are the odds? It's a Christmas miracle.
I don't know if that. It's been a while, I guess, is the
We're
nicest
at
way
Ruth's
to put it.
Chris. I'm not going to miss that.
That makes sense. Great
made a
happy hour.
point to be here.
Best happy hour in Madison, by the way. Ruth Chris, I'm over there all the time. It is a great happy hour that they got.
They do. I like to get the burger and a Coors Light. I'm sure you're with me on the Coors Light at least, but I never thought a burger could be as good as you get here. I said it earlier, but I was like, a burger's a burger. Nope. Different here. Mark, the Badger football team had – let's start on the positive. It's signing day today. They got a big-time quarterback coming through. They got a top 25 recruiting class. This is early signing day. They could climb up the rankings. So let's focus first on the players coming in. And obviously these are freshmen. It's going to be hard to, nail down what they're going to be able to do year one. But the Badgers had some young players produce and do some things this year. So – what's your optimism level about this level of talent coming in this year?
Well, I think you have to be excited about it. And, Barry Alvarez, I heard him on the Great Dane Huddle the other night kind of saying recruiting is the lifeblood of programs. And no doubt that is true. But I think in this new climate, to think that you're going to bring in all these young kids and they're going to be here for 5 years, that's the old way. That's not where we're at. So, for as much as I'm excited, I want to see 4- and 5-star kids coming in. It is about, getting some transfer portal. It's a year-to-year, 8-month process now, and you see that with some of the guys that have left. But as far as the youth and the young talent, I think it's awesome. This is one of the best recruiting classes that I think we've seen as far as those rankings. If you want to, how much judgment you want to put into those, I think it's a good day from Wisconsin's standpoint.
And then the other part of it is, I think the actual job posting closed yesterday. We'll probably learn sooner than later. I can't imagine the Badgers don't know who their person is for the offensive coordinator. But what are some traits, whether it's the recruiting or sort of experience or type of offense you're looking to see run? What are some traits that are important to you to think that the Badger offense can kind of truly find an identity and kind of start moving forward with some positive momentum?
I think the big thing, and I heard Luke at his press conference today, the big thing is being multiple, and I think you're going to see more pro-style stuff. The idea, I think, for a lot of us that grew up a certain way where it's going to be 2 tight ends and a fullback and you're just going to pound the ball into submission, that's not what we're going to be, I think. But utilizing our talent and not just kind of marrying up and saying, well, we're going to go with 3 wideouts, we're going to have this. Being multiple and having different opportunities, with injuries, and if somebody emerges, you want to find whatever is going to suit your team and your talent the best. So I think you can look at the last 2 years with Phil Longo and being more spread. I think you're going to see some differences, and whoever that offensive coordinator is going to be, you're going to see, I think, more of a lean on some pro-style thinking and maybe a little bit more running the football dominant, but utilizing what we've seen in that passing game. I think it's going to be a lot more multiple and a little bit more pro-style than maybe what we saw the last couple of years.
So, Mark, obviously, I'm sure you've heard from buddies or on your show, like people are calling for Luke Fickell to buy him out, move him off, move on from him. Like he's a disaster, right? I'm not in that camp, but also kind of like you're saying, this new NIL thing, you can't really bank on after a couple years when the old players get moved through and his recruiting class starts to hit junior, senior, as far as age and starters. How much grace period do you give in this NIL situation where you can go out and get the players you think are going to fit your program and you don't have to necessarily recruit them and develop them and then wait till they're juniors or seniors to really be impact players?
Well, that's the tricky question. And I think the hard part that Luke and every college football coach has now, you're not just recruiting and then, okay, we got these guys for 5 years. Mm-hmm. You're recruiting and then you're re-recruiting. So you're recruiting guys, you're bringing, and then every transfer portal opening, you have to re-recruit and make sure your guys are, kind of progressing the way you want, and you have to have the players buying into what you're doing. And you probably, that's the hard part if you're not having a ton of success. The easy way to go about this is to say, well, maybe it's better somewhere else. And occasionally that's accurate, but when you want to start looking around the transfer portal and guys leaving, most of it is not successful. So that's always the message, and I think you identify your guys, you see them develop and grow, and you have to retain them. And basically, like an NFL, you have a 3 or 4 year rookie contract. I know Jimmy's always big on that quarterback rookie contract. That isn't the case. You have somebody that is really good, you're going to end up having to probably go above and beyond to keep them. So it is a really complicated formula that I think every coach is trying to figure out, and I think Luke is in that same boat. Everybody is trying to figure out who are going to be immediate impact players. How are you going to, figure out, maneuvering with the resources that you have, and then still try and develop young players. But if you develop them and they don't get the opportunities that they want, are they going to stick around so that you put in that time, resources into developing them, and then they're going to be better for somebody else? It is a real quagmire that coaches are dealing with.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is. And again, what's the grace period? Because I feel like it's way too early right now to say Luke can't get it done. He hasn't.
Injuries have been part of it too. Yep.
Injuries. I just don't know. At what point can someone make a realistic argument for the fact that he should be done? Do you got a year? Could you just give me a number? What do you think? 3 years? 4 years?
A year for what?
Well, how many years until somebody could say this isn't working?
I don't think in today's college football, I don't know if you can look at it from that perspective. If obviously I think next year is a big year, but this year was a big year. You signed, I think Luke signed a 7-year contract. Things don't get built overnight. I know Indiana is kind of resetting that curve, but you need to see constant signs of improvement and young players developing and your veteran players playing at a high level. And I don't have an answer for you, Matt, as far as saying, well, it's 3 years, and if that doesn't work, that's not how it works.
Right.
There's all kinds of things at play. The big thing is, do you feel like your program is headed in the right direction? Do you have the guys and the right people that are going to lead you into that place? And if you feel that's the case, you move forward. And if you don't, that's when you start having tough discussions.
Talking with Mark Tauscher, and I got one more Badger question for you, and then we can move to the Packers here. But the other part of this is you brought up Indiana, and Badger fans don't like to hear this, but money's still a big part of this. Indiana is right behind Michigan as far as paying their coaching staff. I mean, that at $11 million a year, they're paying their coaching staff. Indiana is paying players more than the Badgers can pay certain players at times. I don't know how long they'll have that money, how long it'll stay there, but that's a whole other factor for it. The Badgers are still getting more involved, but in a good way. I mean, the Badgers might revamp their defense a little bit, and they could be really good next year. But the money, it still needs to keep on coming in, because the weird thing with NIL is you could have a nobody school like Indiana appear out of nowhere if they have the right coach and the right money. God knows what the ceiling, like all of a sudden they could be a problem. So that's the other part of this, is money is still constantly needed to take Badger football up another level.
Well, there's always, multi-layers to it, but there is no doubt college football is becoming more like the NFL. And if somebody is developing at a certain place and somebody comes in and says, we're going to give you X amount more, it's going to be very intriguing and tough to say no. So, yeah, I think it's a combination of a bunch of stuff, but money, as is the case with almost every business, it's what makes the world go round. And Indiana, it's not a coincidence. They got a lot better. They got a new coach with, a lot more resources that they've been able to spend, and they've utilized it wisely. So it really comes down to, it's still, running a good business is you have to know your numbers, and you have to know where you need to spend and where you can cut back and how you can efficiently use your resources to get the best product that you possibly can. And I think every team is trying to figure out what that formula is going to be.
Moving to the Packers here. Obviously, the Lions game's tomorrow. It is a big game, but both these teams, and probably Detroit more so, but both these teams are pretty beat up. So I think the injury parts is going to equal out. I think this game's going to be really tight. I actually do think the Packers are going to win it, because even though maybe the opponents weren't top tier, you kicked two teams' butt. You are feeling good about yourselves. You're feeling like you are rolling, and now you carry that momentum in. Detroit's had some drag-them-out games, and I think maybe they need to get their footing back. So I actually think this is a game where the Packers are going to win. The Lions are still going to win the division, but I think this game is a game that the Packers are going to win. But Mark, what is going to be the key for the Packers to pull off this win at Detroit? It's not an upset because it's the NFL and these two teams are close, but what do you think the most important part will be for the Packers?
Yeah, I think the Packers have a huge advantage when it comes to the injury side of this. I know, the report just came out that Jair's not playing, Romeo's not playing, but they didn't play last week. And as you mentioned, they smoked the Dolphins. And now you can say, the Dolphins aren't the Lions. Very true. But Detroit is decimated on the defensive side of the football. You don't even know if their best corner is going to play yet. He's up in the air. But their front seven has just been absolutely obliterated. When you look at who their starters were, they have one guy, McNeil, their defensive tackle. Outside of that, everybody's hurt. So they're bringing guys in. They're trying to bring Jamal Adams in with safety. They think he might be playing linebacker. This needs to be a Packers offense just runs up and down the field on the Detroit Lions tomorrow night. That to me needs to be the case, because Detroit's offense is healthy. I know they're missing their left tackle, but that's going to be the matchup. And I think I just love, and this has kind of been my thoughts all week, I like Green Bay's offense against this beat-up defense a heck of a lot more. Even though I like Detroit's offense, I think it's really good. It's multiple, and I think they're good up front. I just like that matchup a lot more than I like Detroit's offense versus Green Bay's defense. I think it's a huge advantage, and I do think Green Bay should win this game tomorrow.
What are the keys for the offense and the keys for the defense going to be?
Well, I think defensively you have to get Jared Goff off his spot, and the big thing is to slow down what I think is one of the best run games in the league with that offensive line. And if you can get Jared Goff, you just got to get him moving and not let him get comfortable. And if you do that, I think you can slow down their offense. They'll still score some points, but this needs to be Josh Jacobs and this group up front with some play action. And, in that tough environment up in Detroit, it's going to be loud. It's a big game. It needs to be a Josh Jacobs, run the football, play action pass. And I just don't know, unless Green Bay shoots itself in the foot, when you're as beat up as they are, Green Bay should have a day tomorrow and put a lot of pressure on Detroit's offense to try to keep up.
So a Friday rolls around, the offense doesn't show up and they lose. Do you feel differently about this team then?
I think if this offense can't move the football and score a bunch of points tomorrow night, I definitely think you have to question, well, where are we at with this group? Because I think you're starting to see the special teams play a lot better football, the defense. And, yeah, everybody could say, well, you played a beat-up 49ers team. You played a beat-up, a cold weather, a team that can't play in the cold in Miami. Well, at some point it's like, all right, yeah, but you're playing your games and you're winning and you're getting better. There is not a doubt in my mind right now Green Bay is playing its best football, and I think they have a chance to continue to trend up and up. I think Detroit is going to be in a position where they're just, as you put it, kind of scrapping and having a really hard time holding off the Bears last week. It's their games you have to fight and grind through, but you need to have some wins. I think Detroit got their easy wins early. It's going to be a lot more difficult for them moving forward.
Last thing I had, more of an NFL thing for you. Azeez Al-Shir is suspended. They hit on Trevor Lawrence. Apparently, I didn't know he has a little bit of a history of kind of illegal hits. Were you surprised at the severity of the penalty?
No, I mean, anytime. The NFL is going to protect its quarterbacks, and I think it looked really violent. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, the quarterback has to slide earlier. You know the deal. You could have pulled. I think if he pulled off and didn't lead with his arms into it, I would not want to play defense in this league. Quarterbacks are sidestepping guys and then going. It's a really tough spot to play. I think actually he'll get that. He has never been suspended for this before. I think 3 games is a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if they appealed that, got it down to 2. And you're just going to constantly, as an NFL, you need to keep your quarterbacks healthy. This is one thing they're going to continue to pound home to these defensive guys. And the only way to do that is to make a big-time example out of somebody, and unfortunately, he's going to be the guy.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark.
You bet. See you guys.
That's Mark Tauscher, brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers in Madison and in Middleton. Madison's family-owned and Madison's custom jeweler. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Pizza Hut's wings are the best thing to happen to pizza night since, well, pizza. Introducing Pizza Hut's new Big Boneless Wing Bundle. For only $15.99, enjoy 16 crispy boneless wings in 2 different flavors, 2 dipping sauces, and a double order of fries. The wings are sauced and tossed to perfection and available in 9 flavors like honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, and sweet chili. It's the perfect bundle for game days, girls' nights, family night, or any tailgate party. Order now on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com.
Hi, Dave from Canopy Wealth Management here. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape. Throughout your family's financial planning journey, we will serve as a partner, advocate, and steward in all aspects to help you achieve your goals with confidence. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
I knew that we were going to be getting engaged soon and needed to do some ring shopping. Heard the radio ads of Chalmers and decided, hey, we should give it a shot at Chalmers.
They were just awesome at accepting us through the door and understanding what she wanted in terms of how she wanted it, and they delivered.
Everybody always is telling me how sparkly my ring is. They tell me that they really like the style of the ring and the setting that it's in. I am ecstatic with it.
Thank you, Chalmers.
Madison Weight Loss is having a huge holiday sale, almost 20% off, making it our lowest prices of the year. You can start the program before, during, or after the holidays. We know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no prepackaged meals, no injections or surgery. The secret is our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good. To learn how our clients on average lowered their metabolic age by 17 years, go to MadisonWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation and learn why your metabolism may be sabotaging your weight loss loss goals. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com and save big now only through December 31st.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. The program with Madison Weight Loss was perfect for me to lose 40 pounds. Trust me, Madison Weight Loss is the real deal. And take advantage of the huge holiday sale with the lowest prices of the year now through December 31st. You can start the program now or after the holidays, but you need to call now to lock in the huge discount. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation. That's MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933, which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Matt Hamilton here to tell you about my friends at Revive Restoration. Nobody plans for accidents to happen, but when they do, you can count on Revive to be professional, efficient, and detail-oriented as they make things right again. Revive Restoration.
RE/MAX Preferred has been a James Imaging Systems client for over 20 years. RE/MAX Preferred CEO Daniel Bertelsen.
James Imaging is one of the vendors that we use to move all of our documents and set up networks and utilize their equipment for scanning and storage purposes.
James Imaging Systems, for over 40 years, a local 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed business technology company.
James Imaging has gone through a lot of evolutions over the years, and the one thing that has remained constant is their customer service and their follow-up.
That's important.
Extremely important. When we don't know what's going on, we can't let other people know what's going on in the company, and we get angry people.
And
James Imaging helps us keep people happy.
Are your people less than happy with your current business technology vendor? Then switch to James Imaging Systems. Call 608-221-3457. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Kringle, all I want for Christmas is you.
Dad!
What?
We talked about this. Yeah, your jingle for your Kringle entry last year was so lame that Racine Danish Kringle banned you from their contest.
I thought it was only a one holiday season ban.
It was a lifetime ban.
Well, I guess I'm out, but here's how you can enter our ESPN Wisconsin Racine Danish Kringle Jingle for Your Kringle contest on Wilde Township. Submit your own original jingle to ESPNWisconsinContest.com. Then we'll pick the most creative songs, and our grand prize winner will get Kringle for a year. Make sure you include Racine Danish Kringle. It's not just a treat, it's a tradition in your jingle. If you don't want to sing, but you still want to celebrate the holidays with Racine Danish Kringle, call 800-4DANISH or visit Kringle.com and order their all-new Eggnog Holiday Kringle.
Racine Danish Kringle, such a tasty, yummy treat. With a flaky crust and sweet icing, it's the best thing you can eat.
Oh, like that's so much better than mine.
Well, at least we're not off-key.
On December 7th, immerse yourself in Ebony and Elegance, an icy affair, the third annual gala by the Urban League of Greater Madison Young Professionals. It's a night to celebrate the achievements and recognize Greater Madison area young professionals making an impact in our community. Join us as we honor those who lead through civic engagement, community service, and professional excellence, embodying our values: invest, impact, inspire. Don't miss this unforgettable evening. Reserve your tickets today at ulgmyp.betterworld.org.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
We're going to skate to one song only.
Back at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton, not that far from one of our favorite places, Metcalf's.
Absolutely. And if, say you do want to cook your own steak, Ruth's is a great spot to get a steak. But if you feel like cooking it yourself, head to Metcalf's. Check out that Piedmontese Italian heritage beef that you can only get at Metcalf's in Hilldale at the Westtown Mall or near the Westtown Mall and in Wauwatosa. They're the only ones where you can get that Italian heritage breed Piedmontese beef, and they've got a whole lot of other great selections too. They got local cheeses, they got specialty cheeses, they have so many other local products, local produce. One of the things that I've noticed since shopping there frequently is my produce stays longer in the fridge. Like,
love it.
I'll get it from other places and I feel like my lettuce is done in a day or two.
Yep.
Not from Metcalf's Market. Trust me, their produce is fantastic. The meat's great. The cheeses are fantastic. Go check them out. Metcalf's Market, and bring local home.
Let's throw some stones.
1, 2, 3,
Some takes are cooler than others.
You know this kid is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Some opinions are just cooler than the rest.
That was cooler than being cool. Ice cold.
And if you keep it chill, then it's a cold take.
Chill out. I'm chill. I'm chill as a cucumber, man.
I'm always the coldest.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's chillest Kia dealership.
All righty, don't have much time to throw stones today, but Jim, I believe you have a stone to throw at Matt Hamilton.
It's a question for you. Mike Florio threw out the idea of maybe Chicago would call a team like the San Francisco 49ers or the Rams and say, hey, maybe you want to move off your coach. There's been rumors that Sean McVay might want to get out of Los Angeles. Kyle Shanahan maybe want to get out of whatever they're going to have to do in San Francisco. They're going to have to tear the whole thing down.
Right.
It's building a little bit more momentum. So who do you not want to see coach the Chicago Bears? McVay, Shanahan, or Belichick?
Oh, I'd be fine with McVay or Belichick. I do not want to see Shanahan out there. There's too many wounds that he was part of opening up, and they've just started to close, especially after getting a win against a banged-up Niners team. I still saw white and gold and red trim out there, so that made me feel better, regardless of who was playing. But Shanahan is the one that would scare me the most.
He's built up Jimmy G.
Yeah,
he's
no
built up
Shanahan.
Brock Purdy.
Belichick might be near the end of his best years, and McVay is good, but LaFleur's got McVay's number at this point.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? They had a playoff game, they had regular season games. LaFleur has definitely got a winning record against McVay. I'd be fine with that. Shanahan, no chance. Don't want to see him in Chicago any way, shape, or form.
That would be the most anti-Bear thing they could do is go get a guy like Shanahan. But it would make sense. San Francisco,
I think they're
they
probably
going to
give somebody a chance. First-time head coach.
Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
That could be the guy. But he wants $15 million. So if you're going to pay that, then maybe you just go get a coach.
Like a certified, been there, done that.
Proven commodity.
Certified Piedmontese beef coach.
Exactly. And then they can be winners, like everyone that goes to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. That's where winners go. Millions of dollars are won every single weekend at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Go be a winner and go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Thanks to Lee and the whole crew out here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton for having us out. We'll be back at it tomorrow.
Dinner?
Yep.
Because I just ordered it?
There you go. We are on 12 to 2 tomorrow. That's for our fans and for you, Matt Hamilton.
Yes, thank you for reminding me.
Because we'll have Green Day game night coming on earlier tomorrow. So listen to us tomorrow at noon. This has been Jim, Matt, and Molly presented by Coors Light.
See ya.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Whether you're in the market for a new or new-to-you vehicle, Metro Ford of Madison has the customer